All right, Kiss Army, welcome to the KissFAQ Podcast. Thank you for giving us your time today and letting us into your head. I hope we don't do any damage. This is a Kiss-related podcast by the board, for the board. We hope that you enjoy.
All right, welcome to episode 441 of the KissFAQ Podcast. We're live today, beaming in from around the world. We've got Daniel Wees on the board.
Hi there.
Lonnie, St. Louis Kiss.
What's up?
Mark Anthony K, Canada.
Greetings.
And of course, the one, the only, entering the ring to a round of applause from the Peanut Gallery, the voice of reason, Ken.
Good morning, wherever you are, or good night.
Yeah, wherever you are, thanks for joining us today. Today's show is, of course, a death match. This is, idiocy or insanity, where we have been randomly picking albums to go head-to-head against each other, and then we randomly pick the songs from each of those albums. So there's no way of doing seedings, no way of preordaining or giving any sorts of favors to any song or album. It's just a different way of framing a discussion about the songs on these albums by making them, have odd matchups. So before we get to that, I want to just go through a couple of things. Last episode did offer up the print of the MASS-KISSTERIA artwork without branding for a drawing. The winner, entry number 3, Bill Elam. Congratulations, Bill. I'll be emailing you for your address. He's, of course, a friend of the show, which makes it doubly nice because he shares all our episodes religiously on Facebook. So completely random occurrence that he won that, but it could not go to a better home. Plus, he's been participating in the WASP episodes on the Look It's Rock and Roll podcast. So thank you, Bill, for your continued support, and thank you to everyone who entered. Anyone got any cool Kiss shit this week? Because I have not.
I got something very cool. I'll show you guys. And I have to thank the KissFAQ podcast crew.
That means all of you out there.
And everybody that watches. Okay, here we go. I'll try to get it out of here. Here it is.
Really nice.
Very cool.
The Kiss Alive 2 Platinum Award. That
Double platinum.
Or double platinum. Yeah, you're right. So here's good. Let's see if we can say if we can get up in here.
The voice of reason.
The voice of reason.
Awesome.
Nice.
Nice.
Fantastic.
And they spelled it right.
Okay.
The voice of raisins or something.
Yeah,
The voice of raisin.
Yeah, right. Raisin bran.
Oh, that's all. That looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's very, very nice. I'll be hanging it up later today on my wall. So.
Very nice.
No, I'm really thrilled with that. So if anyone's
Very cool.
wondering, most of the old shows eventually do get commercials and whatnot on them. So all that ad rev eventually does add up a little bit. So as a give back to the guys who participate in the show, we've been doing the rounds on the Gold Awards. So Mark got Destroyer, Lonnie got St. Louis Kiss Award. No, he got Revenge. And then, of course, Alive 2, which is Ken's first Kiss album, came out. So
I didn't get shit.
Wow.
Not yet, but you have to wait your turn.
Wait for Asylum, right?
Yeah, we're gonna wait for Asylum. Yeah, there we go. Or maybe they'll do some other product. So
Animalize.
Well, any or all, for us 80s guys would be very cool, and they. We're just waiting our turn, I guess. So thank you for joining us. I don't think there's a whole lot of news in the Kiss world. We're all waiting for the release of Creatures of the Night, the box set next Friday on the 18th. I dropped my review of that. It's like 33 pages. So there's a PDF form that you can download to read the whole thing offline. And again, it's just my review of the music because I haven't seen the box yet. You go over to Kiss My Wax. I think they'll be doing a Kiss Creatures Super Deluxe unboxing video next week. So you'll get to have an advanced peek of it then. Keep looking out for those deals. It was down to $177 in the States, at least on Amazon, and then it went back up. So when it drops, grab it. because you can't be guaranteed that it's not going to just stabilize at one price. So let's move on from there, and we'll be doing a review episode. I think we'll probably do that one live on a Saturday as well, so we can get as many people and opinions in there. But Mark, you want to read some comments from the last episodes before we get into the deathmatch?
Yeah, certainly. Okay, so let's read a couple here from the one from the cruising from the Peanut Gallery episode, which was, I believe, episode 439. And we have a comment from Ian Conahan, I believe his name is. I love Mark. He tells it like it is. He is 100% right about Bruce and the Dubai fiasco. Great video as always. And I especially liked Daniel's nail clipping solo. Next, you have a comment from MD. I wasn't a fan of Kiss during Bruce's era. I'm an original 4 guy, but the video of Bruce and his band is great. It appears to me that the audience got more into that performance than, dare I say, the Kiss performance. And let's do one more from this episode. Let's do... let's see. Well, given... Okay, this is from 78 Andy G. Well, given last year's Bruce band did Exciter, All Hell's Breaking Loose, and Part of Making Love, as well as other non-Bruce era stuff, it's not new. Bruce explains this last year on stage. So I guess that's the comment about why he was doing stuff that wasn't from his era. Okay, so that's from that. Give me 1 second here to pop up the previous episode that we had with Andy Moyen. Here we go, and the comments are here. From DBQRX3, Andy has provided years of entertaining accounts. Much appreciated. Then you have Music the Lifeblood. Put, I love Andy's roving reporter episodes. And then we also have Ronnie Parker, who is actually with us right now, saying, seeing how far the Kiss Cruises has come along, as a teenager in the 80s, I couldn't imagine the concept of a Kiss cruise back then. It's mind-blowing how far Kisstery has come. There you go.
There you go. Yep. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Andy, for the roving reporter. It was important for us, by the way, because there was some heat in some comments on the Peanut Gallery episode of the cruise, is that we do our doo-doo. We do an episode from the armchair for those who aren't there, because that perspective is one perspective, and we do a separate one with someone who's actually there for the other perspective. So both have validity. But obviously being there is a completely experience to watching videos on YouTube or on Dime a Dozen. Which reminds me, Dime, what is it? 5 soundboards dropped in the last week. So Knoxville and Atlanta from 79. Atlanta is, of course, pretty choppy. Knoxville's mostly complete. I think it's missing Beth, and it's the better of those two. And then Erie 86, which is the tail end of the Asylum tour, which makes people like me very happy. And then I don't remember what the other two were on there. So
New Jersey.
East Rutherford. 85, and then there was another 85 as well. So Dime, you can buy them from Zodiac if you've got to pay out the nose for silver CDs, or you can go download the fuckers. The choice is yours. For me, it's about the music, not someone making packaging that makes it pretty. So let's get into today's deathmatch. For those who are joining us for the first time and don't know how we do this, we take all the songs from one album and put it into a cup, and you're going to focus on me.
There you go.
There we go. So Love Gun goes in the green cup, because I can't use the green cup for Dynasty. So the Dynasty songs go in there, and then it's random, and they're going to go head to head. It's 9 songs on one album versus 10 on the other. So let's jump right in and get going with the first matchup. Coming out of the Love Gun hat is Hooligan. Is going to go up against, please don't be Dirty Livin', because that is just so unfair. Save Your Love. So Save Your Love, last song on Dynasty versus Hooligan. Lonnie, you've barely spoken, so we're going to start with you.
I'm going to go, it's tough, a song versus a Peter song, but I'm going to go Save Your Love. I really like Save Your Love. It's one of my favorite, my more favorite songs off of Dynasty. Even though Hooligan is good, Save Your Love wins this round.
All right, that's one for Save Your Love. Ken.
Yeah, even though I remember the first time I heard Hooligan, and I thought, oh, that's not a very good song. I mean, though it's grown on me over the years, I'm going to have to go still, though, with Save Your Love. Better song.
All right, 2 for Save Your Love. Mark.
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. I mean, Hooligan is terrible, in my opinion.
Wow.
I mean, it's just, it's basically just one part repeated over and over again. It's like just, and Peter has a great voice. There's no question about it. I think Peter's voice is fantastic. I've always loved his singing, but his lyrics are terrible on that as well. I mean, absolutely like grade 5 level lyrics on that. But then, Kiss never had fantastic lyrics. So that's not really a deciding issue. But Save Your Love is a great song. I think it's good. As far as songwriting wise, the guitar playing is fantastic by Ace. And Ace, I think Ace sings really well on it. So Save Your Love is my vote for sure.
All right, Daniel. Our opinions no longer matter, so we can be honest. Daniel.
We're always honest. But Save Your Love is such a great song. One of my favorites of Dynasty. I remember we were doing a Dynasty episode a few years back, and I put it up really high. Some of the other guys didn't like it as much. But the drumming, Anton Figg's drumming on that one is totally awesome. And I like Ace's vocals as well. Hooligan is an okay song, but just as Mark said, I listened to it the other day. It's very repetitive. It's nothing much happens, but the vocals are, of course, top notch. But for me, Save Your Love.
All right. So am I going to allow this to be unanimous decision, or am I going to throw some kibble to the cat? I can't. I absolutely love Save Your Love. And while I'm Team Green, it's got one of my favorite riffs in it. And it's in my top 10 Kiss songs without any doubt. So I got to go Save Your Love and make it unanimous. Sorry, Peter. You don't get many songs on Kiss albums, and then fans like us betray you. So Save Your Love is going to move on. All right, moving on to the next matchup. And I was just grabbing my notebook because apparently I'm not fully prepared. All right. It's going to be, all right, we're getting Ace out of the way early here. 2,000 Men is going to go up against what? Please don't be Love Gun. Christine 16. All right, Mark, let's start with you on that.
Oh, okay. This is a bit tougher, honestly. I mean, Christine 16 is technically a classic song. I mean, it is Gene's, I don't know, I guess you could say the controversial song, although it wasn't back in the day. Nobody really gave a shit about that stuff back in the day. So that's, it's only this generation that, gets their back all in a tizzle about this kind of stuff. And 2000 Man is a cover. So usually in these kind of matches, I don't usually go with the cover. I usually find that unless they're stellar recreations of the songs, then I don't really care for covers. But, Ace did a good job with 2000 Man. So again, it's a bit difficult for me because one side of me is saying go with Ace because, I'm a guitar player as well, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to have to go with Christine 16. I think it's a stronger song overall. And I just think that I tend to go more with original songs than covers anyway. That's always a kind of strike in my opinion to that. So I'm going with Christine 16.
All right, Ken, we're going back to the era where you became a fan. Christine 16 versus 2000 Man.
Yeah, the first time I listened to 2000 Man, I didn't care for it too much. I mean, it is a vast improvement over the Stones version of the song. Oh, yeah. For sure. But still at that, I think it gets a little bit too much praise, in my opinion. And I've always liked Christine 16 from the start, even though, there's some stuff now we like, it's kind of cringy, but it's still a good song, good catchy song. It was a hit song. It was on the top 40. I think it made a top 20. I think so. Christine 16 for me.
All right, Daniel, how about you?
This is a real close one. Both of them are middle of the pack for me. When I look at my list, I have them next to each other as a tie almost. So, but I have to go Christine 16. I like Mark's point. 2000 Man is a cover. It's a good cover, but it's still a cover. So that puts Christine 16 over 2000 Man, even though none of these songs are any of my favorites off of these albums. They're okay, but there are way better songs to come up ahead.
So Christine 16.
Yeah, Christine 16.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, sorry if
Lonnie.
I was.
No. It's me, not
unclear.
you. No, it's me. Lonnie, what about you?
It is tough, and it's a close one, but it is Christine 16. I mean, we're pretty much unanimous saying that it's a close one, but you know, it's more of it's a classic Kiss song, and it's good. Is it cringeworthy? You know, whatever. It's a good Kiss song, and most Kiss songs are a little cringeworthy. So
90%.
correct.
Yeah, it's Kiss, it's rock and roll, you know. And so you're Christine 16 as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm going with 2000 Man.
Wow.
Simply because it's completely different than the Rolling Stones original, completely different character, completely different interpretation of the song. And what Ace brought in fully formed like that had very little input from the rest of the band and became a core song that was performed both in 1979 on the tour and when they reunited in 1996. It's a great song. Christine 16 is also a great song. And I liked what Joel pointed out, about the Christine 16 disclaimer. I mean, in some ways we've become so politically correct and so afraid, of a lot of things that were acceptable back then. Yeah, we've evolved, and a lot of things you can never get away with these days. But back in the day, it was perfectly fine. That doesn't make it perfectly right, but it was perfectly fine. And how many songs from our youth do we listen to now and go, yeah, I was like that at the Wasp concert last week when he was doing Animal. I'm like, that song doesn't work for me now like it did when I was 14, but damn it, at 14, I was like, oh yeah, so, to a certain extent, if we avoid the revisionism, I mean, it's fair to comment on it, but also fair to say that it's not a dangerous song. So, I gave Ace that one vote, but Christine 16 wins.
Julian, a quick question. I know it's a long time since Wasp toured over there. They tour here almost every year in Sweden, several dates. Yeah. But what did you think of the concert, and how was the attendance?
Well, I'm going to do a show with Andy once he's seen his show. But just to quickly, from my personal perspective, is I'd missed them the last few runarounds in the States. So it was great to see Blackie back in concert, and he was very active on stage. Is there tape? Yeah, there is definitely some tape going on there. Is the stage exciting? No, but it is visually appealing. And it was a sold-out house in Anaheim. And he played a lot of, when we did our What Did We Want to Hear live on tour, we came up with a list of the songs, and he did nearly half the list of songs that I wanted to hear. And I was thrilled to hear shit like, Crazy and Heaven Hung in Black and, a lot of stuff off the first album. So was I happy? Yes. Am I going to other shows? Yes. I even bought the VIP on the strength of that show because I figured I'd taken my 84 Japan tour book to get signed. So happy. It's not right for everyone. And some people are commenting on it. And you know what? If it's not right for you, don't go, because I don't want to be standing next to a miserable sod.
No.
Amen.
I'm there to enjoy it. And I guess let's apply that same equation to Kiss or any band that you go and see. If you know what you're going to get, go get it. And if you don't like what you're going to get, don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Easy. All right, let's get back to this. So Christine 16 is moving on, and you guys are shit. All four of these guys are shit canning 2000 Man. Let's just make that absolutely clear.
Yes.
All right, here we go. So Joel, thanks for that comment, by the way. That's why we do these shows live, because it's nice to have those conversations. All right, next up, one of my least favorite songs in the catalog, Tomorrow and Tonight.
Tomorrow and tonight.
Let's have Dirty Living, because
I was made for loving you. Come on.
Hard Times. Okay, that's
Another
three
ace.
Three ace
Wow.
songs. All right, we got rid of aces material,
Not count these.
and this one's going to be pretty easy. Daniel, let's get started with you.
Hard Times for me. Hard Times is a standard rocker, cool ace song. One of the heavier songs on Dynasty. I like Ace's material on Dynasty. I think he knocked some of them out of the park, and this is one that to me is a solid rocker. Nothing really spectacular, but a solid rocker that always works live still to this day. So Hard Times for me.
Yeah, Ace brought in 5 demos to those sessions. 3 got used. 1 got rewritten for Unmasked, and the other 2 were Backstage Pass and Insufficient Data, which haven't circulated yet. So there's hopefully still material to come out that we'll eventually get to hear. Let's see, Lonnie.
It's Hard Times for me. Tomorrow and Tonight just is a little too forced, trying to have another anthem type song again, and Hard Times is actually really, really good. I agree that I really love Ace's material that was on Dynasty, so it's an easy pick.
I was reading the comments, Lonnie, and lost what you were saying.
Oh, sorry.
Hard Times.
Hard Times is the short version of my answer.
Thank you. All right, Mark, what about you?
Well, I mean, these 2 songs have a lot of things in common, I find. Both of them are sort of very basic in structure, I find. Like, like Daniel said, it's one's like a really just straight ahead basic rock song with Hard Times. And, Tomorrow and Tonight is kind of the same thing too. It's like your basic kind of structure, trying to go for that sort of anthemic thing like Lonnie pointed out. But the thing that I don't like about Tomorrow and Tonight is that, it's predictable how it kind of is arranged. And, they had that drop down. Let me hear you tomorrow and tonight. You have all the black girls singing in the background with their pom-poms and, dancing around. It's like, it's such a predictable sort of ending to that song. And I just don't find it as satisfying a listen as Hard Times. I think Hard Times, while it's nothing, creatively spectacular, it's much more catchier to me. I like Ace's singing on it. I think Ace's vocals really have to be, mentioned on this record. I think he did a great job on this album singing. He really showed that he has, more confidence in his vocals, especially on this album. And I think it really shows on this song as well. So Hard Times it's probably my favorite of the Ace songs on this album as well. So I'm going with Hard Times.
All right. Ken.
Yeah. So I originally bought the 7-inch single when I Was Made for Living came out, and I found myself playing Hard Times a lot more than the A side. I was playing the B side because I really, really enjoy that song. I love the riff. I love everything about that song. It's total Ace, total probably fact, not fiction of his part of his life. So great song. I have to go with Hard Times.
Yeah, without any doubt, it's a great song. Tomorrow and Tonight, while I say it's one of my least favorite songs, it is still a cool song. And as Robert pointed out, it's an anthem. Yeah, it is. It's just a little bit, it's funny to call it too calculated when Rock and Roll All Night was completely calculated, as was Shouted Out Loud. But, it just doesn't quite resonate on that level. And a song like Hard Times, which is autobiographical, has a great riff, has a great attitude. It's got Ace's swagger down pat on it for me, so Hard Times easily there. But come on, Tomorrow and Tonight isn't dog shit either. Daniel. Oh, wait.
Oh.
No, I was it, wasn't it? You started.
That was it. That started.
Yeah.
And I picked Hard Times.
This is just me.
So let's hear the next.
Yep. So Hard Times goes through.
I'm seeing Julian has the main feature on there.
Get me off there.
Yeah. No. We want to see your.
We want to see you, Julian.
No, we want to see you. No, we don't.
Your hat.
We do not. I keep forgetting now that Daniel's a co-admin on here.
Okay. Let's do it like this then.
Taking too much.
All right, next song up. Back to the main screen. is X-Ray Eyes. Gene Simmons was able to muster a contribution on that album. And it's going up against, all right, Gene's got to beat himself off here. Plaster Caster.
Wow.
All right, Plaster Caster versus X-Ray Eyes. And there's only one person who can start this one, Ken.
Yeah. Well, I like X-Ray Eyes. It's no Plaster Caster. Plaster Caster is a very kind of unique song for Gene. Interesting subject matter, of course. But I always like the way it comes in and builds up, and it's just catchy. So a lot better than X-Ray Eyes. I mean, I wouldn't say a lot better, but it's better. Though X-Ray Eyes is no slouch. So what did I pick? No, I picked Plaster Caster.
All right. Mark, how about you?
Well, I think I'm going to be the unpopular vote here on this. I'm going to go with X-Ray Eyes, mainly because I think that this song is a bit more catchier. I always thought that Plaster Caster is, again, one of those good songs. It's a good Gene song, but it's nothing spectacular. I mean, I think I venture to say that I like the unplugged version of it better than the studio version of it, which goes to tell you something, about it, because if an acoustic version beats a studio version, then I don't know. But anyways, I really think that, besides the fact that I think it's a decent song, and I think that Gene really sings good on that song. I think his voice sounds really good, and it's a shame that he doesn't have very many songs on this album, because I think that he was in good vocal form around this time, so he would have benefited from writing some more decent songs. But man, I also think that the production of Dynasty, I've talked about that 100 times on here, how I think it has such a New York vibe. Dynasty, I think that helps with the song as well. So I'm going definitely with X-Ray Eyes.
Yeah, wasn't it a New York album anyway? Because so
yeah,
still at least. All right, Daniel, let's go back to you on that.
For me, it's Plaster Caster. It was kind of revived. It got a new life when they performed it in '95 on the Unplugged sessions, MTV Unplugged sessions. I never really cared for it before then, but that opened my eyes to the song, and I started to appreciate it a whole lot more. X-Ray Eyes has always been a throwaway for me on Dynasty. I like Gene's vocals. I think he sings it beautifully, but it's just a slow, kind of boring song with a chorus. I guess he read Superman and liked X-Ray Eyes or something and made a song out of it.
It sounds like a Gene transplant.
Yeah, it seems like, he's been reading some comics and he stole one of the lines and made a song out of it. I think it's worst song on Dynasty, I'd say. So for me, it's Plaster Caster.
That was me fucking around with buttons, by the way.
Going to get...
Oh my gosh.
All right. Yeah, okay. So yeah, he's able to do that to me too. So thank you to everyone who's chiming in with your comments. Keep them coming, because it's great to see the interaction going. Who's next? Lonnie. This one may be going the full round to a tie break with me.
It's Plaster Caster for me. I like it more than X-Ray Eyes. It's kind of close, but I don't know. I guess more. Love Gun was one of my first albums, and I remember was walking around like a 10-year-old kid walking around singing Plaster Caster, totally inappropriate, having no idea what it means. So I've always liked the song, and I still like it more than X-Ray Eyes. Gene's material in Dynasty is okay, but I like his material in Love Gun better, and Plaster Caster wins this one.
Okay, so your choice?
Plaster Caster.
Plaster. Oh, wow. You rendered my opinion irrelevant. That's
Sorry.
how it should be. That's definitely how it should be. X-Ray Eyes for me. I
Really?
love that song. I love the vibe of it. It's got an attitude that's just really cool. It always resonated with me from the first time I heard the album. Plaster Caster is a great song, but I don't know can't remember which one of you said that Unplugged is where it makes its mark the most. And I totally agree. It's a fantastic song. In an acoustic format like that. And it doesn't matter that it's not true. A song doesn't have to be based on fact. While Cynthia Plastercaster got very upset with Gene for alluding to something that never happened, it doesn't matter. He's singing about something that's kind of a hilarious topic. So no one knew that shit back then anyway. So, like we were told about our revisionism, let's keep it real. All right. So Plastercaster moves on.
They played Plaster Caster a year ago, right before the show I saw in Mountain View. So that was a nice live.
The VIP thing that I was too sick to attend. Yeah,
it was really good.
All right, so X-Ray Eyes is going in the can.
I'm surprised how many people in the Peanut Gallery actually voted for X-Rays.
Yeah, well,
X-Rays can make you radioactive.
You ask 10 KISS fans something, and you'll get probably 10 different answers. So that's a great thing about our community. All right, next up, Got Love for Sale. Gene is going up against Magic Touch. That's a very interesting matchup. One I'm not too sure what I feel about that one.
I don't know.
Let's see who's going to go first here. So, I get to go first now. So, I'm going Got Love for Sale on that one. Magic Touch is cool. It's a decent song, but Got Love for Sale actually has an attitude to it that I really like. So even taking out of it, the Van Halen connection, that's one of the better songs for me from Gene on Love Gun. So Mark, you can shake your head all you want, but it's my opinion. You can even start wagging fingers at me. And you stick out your tongue if it makes you feel better.
We tolerate Mark's destroyer opinions on here.
we sure do. And anyway, isn't magic a poison pill at this point?
Wow.
So no one's gonna say yes to magic.
Wow, that's desperation there.
Yeah. All right, Mark. I'm desperate. I'm going to you first.
Oh boy, I think it's pretty obvious which I'm going to go for. I mean, Magic Touch is such a great song. I mean, I'm surprised that it hasn't become more of a popular song, especially back in that time period, as it was. I mean, that song I think should have been a single that was put out and pushed a hell of a lot more. Again, I don't mind God Love for Sale, but I really think that whenever I talk to people, and I don't care about other people when it comes to this stuff, but I don't know many people who think that God Love for Sale was any kind of a standout song on Love Gun. I think most people think of it as a skip. I've never thought of it as
there's someone else.
Okay, so there's one other person, but I'm just saying that I think that technically Paul Stanley is a better writer in my opinion. Okay. I think that this song is a great example of that. God Love for Sale for me is just one of these things that Gene was like, okay, I need another song. Let me go through my book here real quick. Okay, this one's good. Let's just use this one. It's just desperate. It looks like a not as well thought out. It's definitely not as good songwriting wise, not even close. And vocally, I think Paul's much better. So for me, it's Magic Touch all the way.
It's okay to be wrong. Daniel.
Magic Touch all the way.
Yes.
I don't think it's even close. Not even close.
Daniel, you're a good man.
Magic Touch. Yeah, I know. You too. I don't know what Julian has against Magic Touch. Several times he's mentioned Magic Touch as being something subpar, I think. Or I've gotten the vibe that you kind of don't care for Magic Touch, but just go and listen to, or better yet, go and watch the Paul Stanley 2007. What was it called? That DVD, One Live Kiss. Yeah, One Live Kiss. When Paul performs that song live 2007, it's just magic. and that's real magic that exists. So that's a great performance, and it shows what could have happened with the song if they had performed it live instead of some of that solo stuff like toss. What did they do on the Dynasty? Tossing and turning and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They should have put Magic Touch on there instead.
Can I agree with you on something?
That's very rare, but let's hear it.
That when Paul did perform it on his solo tour, it was a fantastic moment. I agree.
Thank you.
Absolutely fantastic moment. A standout, and I'm glad we got that before his voice started going. So yeah, we can all be grateful to that. Lonnie, Magic or Got Love?
It's tough. It is close, but I will go with Magic Touch. I think it's a better song overall. Although I do like the attitude of Got Love for Sale, and Got Love for Sale is one of the better Gene songs on Love Gun. But in this particular matchup, it is Magic Touch.
Oh, all right, Ken. Well, your opinion is also now irrelevant. So what do you think?
It doesn't matter. But while I think Magic Touch is a great song, I think Got Love for Sale is a better Kiss song. As for Kiss sound, Kiss classic, rock. So that's just the way I feel. I feel Magic Touch more like more like a Paul Stanley solo song to me, anyway. But they're both good. But I just, I'm a Gene guy. I like Got Love for Sale.
All right, there we go. 3 of us still believe in magic.
Yes.
Do you believe in magic?
Okay. Just like the magic. Got Love for Sale went through to the next round. All right, next up is
Delayed again.
Ugh. Then She Kissed Me.
Ooh, okay, this is gonna be easy.
That's cool.
Is it? Is it really, Mark?
We don't know yet.
I Was Made for Loving You. All right, Mark.
God.
Well,
let's start with Lonnie on there.
okay.
It's I Was Made for Loving You, or Then She Kissed Me. Come on. I'll be interested to see what some of you guys say, but I Was Made for Loving You is not bad. So it's sometimes you're in the mood for it. So it's definitely I Was Made for Loving You.
All right, Daniel.
I Was Made for Loving You. But I would like to tell all your fans to go and listen to the Alive 3 version. That's
Definitely.
I Was Made for Loving You for me.
Yeah.
Like I Was Made for Loving You going metal. I love that version. It's so good. So go and listen to that tonight. So I Was Made.
Okay. Mark.
Well, no, it's always Made for Loving You. Absolutely. I mean, for a minute there, I was thinking, should I be controversial? No, I got to be honest. I Was Made for Loving You, as disco-y and as following trends as Paul was at that time. It is the better song. And Then She Kissed Me. I don't think, honestly, and I'm curious for your guys' reaction to this or comment to this. I don't think I've listened to that song fully, like recently. I've always skipped it at the end. Do you guys actually listen to that song when you put that on there, or do you actually stop it?
No.
I don't think I've ever listened to it recently. I've just kind of stopped after Plaster Caster and said, okay, that's good. To me, it just seems like a complete throwaway. And again, it goes back to my thing with the problem with covers. I don't understand why they were doing it then. Maybe when you're a starting band and the record label wants you to put something there to help push your record when you're new, I can maybe understand that. But at this point, there was no reason to have one.
There was, because there was an industry resurgence in the 60s doo-wop pop. So Sean Cassidy was doing it. There were a couple other acts that were
But this is Kiss. They didn't need to do it.
No, of course they didn't need to do it, but Kiss doesn't need to do a lot of things. Neither do many bands, and they still do stupid stuff or stuff that appears stupid 40 years or 45 years later. Ken?
Yes. Then She Kissed Me. I never really cared for it too much. So it's I Was Made for Loving You. Pretty simple, though I'm so tired of I Was Made for Loving You.
Yeah, disco rock is disco rock, and it was the one song that gave that album a bad name, which is a shame. I Was Made for Loving You is my choice. It's the only logical pick in this scenario. I'm more curious about when that back cover proof of Love Gun surfaced without Then She Kissed Me being listed, and there was a song in its place called See You Baby. What the hell that is? That's what I want to know. I don't care.
Wait for the Love Gun box set.
Well, they already did a deluxe, so would they even bother going back to that?
Sure.
So,
Make money.
I actually tried figuring that one out on guitar when I was a kid, when I was listening to it. So,
yeah,
there we go. All right, next matchup is going to be, in case anyone's not keeping track, I Was Made for Loving You goes through unanimously. Thank God. Dirty Livin'.
Dirty Livin'
gets to go up against
Dirty Livin'. I Stole Your Love.
Oh, fuck off. Shock Me. I thought the Catman might get a chance today, and that is not happening. All right, Ken. Start us off.
Yeah, I like Dirty Livin' a lot. Really, I really do like that song a lot, heck of a lot.
And just remember, you all voted for Hard Times, so you like autobiographical songs from the street.
Yes.
Good point, Julian.
But Shock Me is just a classic first kind of ace vocal and great guitar solo in there. Great, actually, I gotta give props to Peter Criss on drumming on that song. Just really good stuff that he did. So it's gonna have to be Shock Me on that one. Though, man, I'd almost call it a tie for me because I really do like Dirty Livin'. Even the extended mix that's more disco-y is actually pretty good too.
Yeah. All right, Lonnie.
It's not as easy as you would think.
Easy as it seems.
Man, there you go.
Look
Look at you, Ken.
Voice of Reason, -5 points.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but I'm still going to go with Shock Me, though. Peter's drumming is fantastic on Shock Me. Ken made an excellent point about that. I really like Dirty Livin' as well, but Shock Me edges it out.
All right, I was actually listening that time, so I'm able to write down your answer without.
Julian usually doesn't listen when I speak, so
no, it's like driving and chewing bubble gum.
We need another person just for doing this tabulations.
All right, Daniel, what's your call?
Dirty Livin' up against what was the other one?
Shock Me.
Shock Me. Well, Shock Me is so unique because it's Ace's first vocal, and in addition to that, I think Peter Criss's drumming is probably the best on the album. Shock Me is my favorite drumming from him. So, and still to this day, I think there's a swagger to that song when it comes to the drumming that's sort of unique for Kiss song. So I always liked that, even though I have other Ace songs that are more like Cold Gin or maybe even Rocket Ride. But against Dirty Livin', no contest. It wins by a mile. So Shock Me.
Shock Me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Once I start reading comments,
I've noticed.
It's all discombobulated.
Multitasking, we're guys, and multitasking isn't our strong.
I mean, once I hit 50, those skills just disappeared. It was like magic. Oh, said it again. Put another dime in the magic jar. Well, at least it's a magical one. All right. So, Mark, Shock Me versus Dirty Livin'.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do like Dirty Livin' too. I thought it was a great song. Again, this is one of those songs that was the epitome of the New York vibe in a song right there. But Shock Me is a true classic. I mean, again, like like Daniel said, that it is his first vocal. It is an important song in their, discography. And, I gotta say, I think Eddie Kramer has been kind of questioned about the production on this album, but I think that his production is really good on this song in particular. Ace's guitars sound really, really good on this, especially the rhythm guitars sound fantastic on this. And Peter's drumming is really good. I think he really dialed in the sound of the band really well on this, or the sound of the song at least, because I don't think as many of the people on here play it, just probably pretty much Ace and Peter on this song. But, I think that this song might have even solidified the whole idea of getting Eddie to work on Ace's solo record, because I think that this song worked out so well between those two. I think that it was definitely stuck in Ace's mind when they were talking about doing the the solo albums. So yeah, for me, it shocked me.
Yeah. Okay. Since my opinion doesn't count, I'm throwing a kibble to the cat, man. Dirty Living. The vibe of that song is fantastic. I love it. Come on. Shock Me is awesome. Shocked Me is the winner, but I'm voting for Dirty Living simply because I absolutely adore that song. It's got a funk vibe going to it. It's got a touch of disco coming through in the back with the beat. And it's the only damn song on the album on which he drums. So I'm not going to not vote for him on this, but yeah, realistically, Shock Me all the way. So Shock Me goes through.
Really, his last great vocal on the Kiss record.
Yeah, it was his basically Peter Criss's last Kiss. Other than appearing in the Shandy video, which does not count.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, here we go. Here's a big boy. I Stole Your Love going up against. Well, there aren't that many heavy hitters left in the Dynasty jar. So, Charisma.
It's a good one.
Horrible matchup because both fantastic songs. Let's see who's next up to start. It's going to be Mark to start this one. Mark.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, originally I was thinking to myself as this was going that I was going to be voting for Charisma because I would love that song. I always loved this song. I think it's Gene's, pinnacle on this record. And it's also has a place in my heart. I covered it as part of one of my bonus tracks on one of my Project Gemini albums. So I've always loved it enough even to just cover it myself. But you can't not, bump that out for something like I Stole Your Love. I Stole Your Love is really one of the staple pieces of the Kiss live show back in the 70s when they were especially during the Love Gun era. Obviously, it was a very important song. It was the opener of their concert. I really love that song. It has a great guitar riff, and what an opener. I mean, probably one of their better openers on an album, period, that they've done. So, as much as I love Charisma and would love to have voted it through, it was just bad. It was bad timing. If it was any other song, I probably would have picked Charisma, but I Stole Your Love is probably it is my favorite Paul song on this album.
All right. Lonnie.
Yeah, if Charisma was up against almost anything else off of Love Gun, I probably would go with Charisma, but I Stole Your Love is so good that I don't think anything on Dynasty would beat it. So it's I Stole Your Love for me.
Yeah, this isn't that difficult when it comes down to it. Daniel.
When we did that episode on Dynasty, I think Charisma was the number one pick for the panel. I think it was number one on Dynasty, and to me, it's my favorite song off of Dynasty. But against I Stole Your Love, I mean, not many songs would stand a chance against that one, and Charisma, unfortunately, doesn't stand a chance in hell against I Stole Your Love. So I Stole Your Love all the way.
Yeah, I'm with Daniel on exactly how he surmised it. Charisma does not stand a chance in hell against I Stole Your Love. I Stole Your Love as an opener, as a song that has power, that is, just a great expression of what Kiss was at that time, looking back. And, Robert Dunning mentioned it in the comments about them opening up the Hot in the Shade tour with that song. I love Charisma. I flew to Edmonton to see, Gene Simmons' solo band because I wanted to hear Charisma live by Gene. Absolutely fantastic song. One of my favorite moments at the Rock and Pod in Nashville, Craig Smith doing the Cookie Monster vocal to Charisma. I think that video is still out there on YouTube, and we got together for a little jam session afterwards. Great song, but against I Stole Your Love, it's a no-brainer. There we go. I said it. Ken?
Yeah, I'm going to pull a Julian, as he did with Peter, Chris, Good Livin', and I'm going to give nod to Charisma, which is my favorite song off of Dynasty. It's the first song I heard off of Dynasty, well, playing the vinyl album. We know the story. But I just love that song. It is the best song on that album. But yeah, seriously, though, it doesn't compare to I Stole Your Love, which is just a great, I think it's the best opening song on any Kiss album, to start an album, that is. Not my favorite song, but I think it's the best lead-off song to start an album. So there you have it. But I'll just put my vote in for Charisma, because I always love that song.
Yeah, we got our Kool-Aid that we got to drink even when we're doing these shows.
Yes.
Hey, guys who are watching, thank you all for joining us to watch this live today. Thank you for chiming in with comments. Not seeing any of the comments from the Facebook feed, so I obviously screwed that up, but thank you for joining us if you're watching over there. Your opinions and comments make doing these shows all the more fun for us as we're going along, so thanks again. All right, we're into the last matchup. It's 9 songs against a 10-song album, so there's going to be one that goes through into the leftover heap. But last song coming out of the Love Gun hat is the title track, Love Gun, going up against the only song that's left to talk about, Sure Know Something. That's Paul versus Paul. Two exquisite songs, really, in completely different styles. So, Daniel, let's start with you.
I've always wondered how you people perceive the song Love Gun, because if I translate that one into you people, you guys, you people, I sound like Paul Stanley. Okay, I mean, because in my language, if I would translate Love Gun into Swedish and someone would belt that out, it would sound like Kärlekspistolen. I mean, it sounds so crappy, silly, and a bit too much. But when it's my second language, it's not the same thing, I think. So I always love belting out Love Gun. But actually, when I think about what it means, it sounds kind of, I don't know. It's how did he get away with that? I mean, it's belting out Love Gun. I mean, it's too obvious what he's singing about. Like, it's like singing the dick. I mean, I don't know how you guys can, when it's your first language, it's so clear, but when it's your second language, it's a bit different. Well, anyhow, Love Gun is the better song for sure. I truly love the simple but very effective, that was the drumming in Love Gun.
Yeah.
That's
all the sound that some guys make with theirs.
Wow.
Well, I don't know, but in Swedish it could also be kuken. That's like the dick, but I don't know. The dick. Love Gun, whatever it's called, it's a great song, but I don't know if it would be in Swedish if I would have liked it.
Kärlekspistolen.
Yeah.
Schmeckel.
So Love Gun, it is. If you didn't get that, Julian, if you were reading the comments, it's Love Gun.
All right. No. I actually I got that one. I was just waiting for you to get there. So all right. Let's see. Ken.
Love Gun and what's the other one?
Sure no
Sure no
Sure
something.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got lost.
Doesn't really matter.
Sure know something. No, yeah. It's Love Gun, no doubt. Just a better song. Sure know something. It's pretty good. I think Paul borrows from Tonight You Belong to Me a little bit on that song anyway. So Love Gun it is.
Yeah, he doesn't borrow on Love Gun. I mean, he borrows from The Hunter. What else?
He didn't borrow from himself. See, that's the difference.
Oh yeah, so yeah, and like he says, if you can steal from the best. So Albert King and who else did The Hunter? I think the Yardbirds. So all right, so Love Gun. Everyone's being sensible. Mark.
Oh, so you're implying that I'll be insensible about this or unsensible?
Would I do such a thing? Really?
These are truly two great songs. I mean, once again, I think the Unplugged sessions showed how good a song Sure Know Something could be in the right circumstances. But I think overall, Love Gun is such a great song. I mean, again, even when you go through all the eras that they played it in, look at the Alive 3 version of that song. Really powerful in that version of it. I think it's such a great song. And I think if you go to most Kiss fans and say, what do you think is Paul Stanley's signature song? I think a lot of people would be saying that it's Love Gun. So I'm going with Love Gun. Even as much as I do love Sure Know Something, I think Love Gun is the superior song.
Yeah, it's definitely a superior song. It's also guilty of some of the most egregiously outrageous and nonsensical introductions in the 1980s possible. But that's only going into a revisionist adult parent mode. Lonnie.
I really like Sure Know Something. It's really, really good. I really like it when they played it on Unplugged. I liked it when they've done other things with it since then. But
yeah, it's a good song. But
Love Gun is the superior song. It's tempting, but Love Gun is the better song. I have to go with that.
Yeah. Everyone's going to be sensible. Oh, so we're going to end with me. Yeah, Love Gun. From the first time I heard that, it was fantastic. Sure Know Something. Again, we can come back to MTV Unplugged. Absolutely exceptional. Again, finding a rightful home where it really belonged in that format. Incredible song. Absolutely incredible. But Love Gun, to this day, it's a big part of the set for a reason. Not only because it's Paul's song, but again, just everything about it in terms of its dynamics and style. Fantastic. So that means that the song that goes into the bonus cup for an additional round of all the scraps and leftovers is Almost Human. That's almost appropriate for that song to end up in the whatever cup.
Yeah.
So let's recap the songs that are moving on into the next round. Save Your Love, Christine 16, Hard Times, Plaster Caster, Magic Touch, I Was Made for Loving You, Shock Me, I Stole Your Love, Love Gun, and Sure Know Something. So that's a good split between...
Wait a minute, how can Sure Know Something be?
Sorry, wrong stack. So, and Love Gun. So 9 songs move on into the next round when I'm not making errors. Yeah, so that's a really good split between two great albums, the last two real Kiss albums in the originals era. So no surprises there. Lonnie, you surprised by how this turned out?
No, I think it's a good split. I think we were talking about it this week that there's good songs on both and there's kind of clunkers on both. So not surprised that there was a good mix moving forward.
Mark.
Not surprising. I mean, I'm sure that if there were some different matchups, maybe things would have been a little bit different, but I think it is a good split of the songs.
Yeah, and I want asinine matchups because it makes the conversation a little bit more interesting. And some of the less obvious candidates sometimes go through in the seedings. I mean, it's like March Madness. Strange things happen there. Daniel, did this turn out how you thought it might?
The only downer for me is that Charisma didn't go on to the second round. I mean, it deserved to go a bit further in the competition, but I mean, it's all about the matchup. So
It happens.
that's it.
Yeah, indeed, shit happens. And then Voice of Reason. Let's end with your comments on this.
Yeah, well, it's not too surprising on some of the songs head to head. Though, Dynasty showed up and had, obviously has some really good songs on there. Even though, the production is not your standard Kiss fare, from earlier in their career, but it held up pretty well against Love Gun.
I just saw a little Andrew pop up in the
I
comments
know.
screen, from Facebook. 441 episodes. Yes, sir.
Who's counting?
Who's counting? Yeah, we're not. So, again, I'm happy to see a good split between the two albums going through into the next round, because then it's just a complete, weird situation. All right, shaking up the Black Cup.
Ooh, what's next?
There's only 8 albums left.
Okay.
All right, first album in the next death match is going to be Lonnie.
Uh-oh.
Revenge.
Oh.
Let's see what it's going to be up against here.
Is going to go up against. Please be something. Lick It Up.
Oh,
Interesting.
good. That's actually two people, commonly referred to as the best albums without makeup for a lot of people. So that'll be very interesting.
Very finely crafted albums there are going to go head to head. There's obviously going to be a little bit of a disparity because of the number of songs. So Revenge is automatically going to get, I think, 2 going into the
Car Jam?
Car Jam.
You really got to put that.
It'll be Car Jam will be one of them. Or just take Car Jam off to make it a little more rounded.
Lonnie, we have a comment for you.
Wow. We all have, assholes are like opinions. We all have one. Just kidding, Joel.
All right, guys. So everyone who's taken the time to join us today, thank you very much. We appreciate your continued support and tuning into this insanity. You've made it a lot of fun for us today with your comments while we've done this, and you've managed to distract me at various times. I think Daniel got distracted at various times, but only the other 3 guys took this seriously and stayed focused throughout. So thank you all. And that's it for this week. Tune in next week when we'll probably do a actually, we won't have the Creatures box by then. That'll be the following week. So we'll probably go back to topics from the board next week, because I really don't have any sense of originality anymore. But for now, from Lonnie, from Ken, Daniel, Mark, and myself, thanks for joining us, and we shall see you next time.
Thank you for spending time listening to the KissFAQ podcast today. All sales are final. There are no refunds. If you'd like, look us up on Facebook or come over to the KissFAQ message board and discuss the topic we've broadcast today. Don't forget to rate us on iTunes, Spreaker, or wherever you've listened to the show. We hope you'll join us again.